It's Friday night pint, ladies and gentlemen, and it is gonna be a busy one. Lots to talk about here on the show. 2 new signings in the midfield. Is it sorted? Do we have enough signings? Do we need more? And what do we need? Players could be on their way out. Lots to talk about. Manager situations. I'm looking forward to a really, really good show. And you know what else?
Whoa, Dan. Just give it a second, yeah? Just let me talk for a second. You're talking too much. Don't interrupt me again. Because me, Nicky Hawkins, am the final one standing between the 4 West Ham Fan TV boys. I'm still in the 500k jackpot. But it doesn't matter if you're in the 500k jackpot or not, because there is a new competition starting every week with the final one standing. You can go and download the link in the description down below or the QR code up above if you want to play for £50,000 this week. There's new jackpots every week and it's guaranteed winners. Terms and conditions do apply. Please gamble responsibly and you have to be in the UK or Ireland and be over 18 to participate. But if you want to go and see if you can do that, what I did, and become the final one standing, go and download that link in the description down below. Now let them boys get back to the video. I'm finished, boys. I won't be back tonight. Ciao.
Well, it wouldn't be a video without Nicky interrupting me, would it? Honestly, honestly, I thought I had a night off from that.
I was going to say that. I thought Nicky was on tonight, so I was making my way up the shop to get some popcorn just in case you two kicked off again. But I turned around when I found out he wasn't on, so I'll save that for next week.
It's so funny though. Like everyone thinks we're like acting or something when we row. Like if so, we need an Oscars. I was getting so wound up the other day, honestly, because he just kept interrupting me. Anytime I was about to speak, I was like, and he's like, no. So I was getting the right up. So yeah, we're not that good actors, ladies and gentlemen. It's just how we are. It's just how we are. So we are, mate. But yeah, lads, it's good to see you. It's good to be on with you.
Yeah, I'm jealous, boys, because I can't have a drink. I'm on call, so I only let a drink. So
you could have had at least a 0% or something, or your old.
What's the point? You might. There's no point drinking zero.
It's the visual appearance of drinking, Scott.
I could have just poured some lime in me glass and pretended I was drinking something.
Yeah, listen, everyone thinks me and Nicky are fake arguing, so you might as well be fake drinking. You know.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah. So, lads, it's been mad. It's been absolutely mad going on at West Ham. It's been miserable. We had a great night last night at the Julian Dicks where Ryan smashed it and he with the interview. And it was just fun to hear the old stories and just laugh and have a good time and have a little break from the current stuff, you know, the current mess.
Yeah, no, it was a brilliant night. Really enjoyed it. Obviously, finally got the opportunity to sit down with Julian Dicks. We've only been trying for 10 years. He even said to me, when you finally got me, I went, yeah, it was worth it, though, to do it in front of a sold-out Brewdog pub. Yeah, it was brilliant. It's a great night. And, yeah, it was good to be, especially after what happened the night before when we lost the Wolves. Everyone was a bit down in there. So everyone just focused on the old days for a couple of hours, and it was brilliant. It was a great night.
Yeah, so that should be up on the channel for the members over the weekend, and then it will go public. So it'll be early access, and then sort of towards the end of next week, that'll be public for everyone else to watch. So if you want to see it early, check out the memberships. But, you know, if you don't mind waiting, you can go and see it along with everyone else. And like I said, it was nice to talk about the good old days. But, you know, there's a little bit of positivity coming. We've complained about the midfield for God knows how long, and we've signed 2 midfielders in one day. Fernandes has been officially announced by the club today, and Magassa is all done, just waiting for the announcement. He's done all his papers and medicals and all of that stuff. Like, how are you guys? First, before we talk about the wider issue, what are your thoughts on these 2 signings, lads? Obviously, Fernandes, we was chasing him for a while. They wanted 50 mil. We got him for 42 mil, more of a centre midfielder. And then Magassa, more of the holding midfielder. Before you do, we had Melissa Brown with a super chat. Ryan, Scott, and Dan. Thanks for that's us. That's who we are. Melissa did another super chat before we went live that said, "Okay then, Stephen." Thank you for the super chats, Melissa. We appreciate you. Yeah, what are your thoughts on these two players, lads?
Yeah, look, I'm finally glad we got our man. We've been after him for a long time now, Fernandes. Obviously, highly rated Portugal from Portugal, 21-year-old. Obviously, he was Southampton's player of the season last year. They did get relegated, but he was a standout performer. Look, I like the look of him. You know, he's 21, he's young. He's someone that I see his interview today come across really well. He's someone that wants to get on the ball. He said he don't want to just be someone that tackles and scores goals. He wants to be someone that creates as well. So getting him playing around the likes of Paquetá, as obviously as we keep him, and Bowen and all the other options we've got, I think it's going to be a great signing. And I hope that he's straight in that starting 11 on Sunday against Forest, because I believe that he can play. So chuck him straight in. Well, he chucked the goalkeeper straight in, so you can't leave a £40 million midfielder on the bench, can you? Chuck him straight in, and let's hope that he lifts the team, lifts the fans, and hopefully we can get something at Forest. Because the other day we was all sort of predicting that we was going to get a good hiding. Now all of a sudden we get two signings in, and you sort of change the thing. You think maybe we could actually give him a game.
Yeah.
Mate, it's long overdue getting in new midfielders, isn't it? You know, it's good to see. Finally getting the player that we've been after. Hopefully it is a Potter player, because I'm sick and tired of seeing these Sullivan players coming in and then Potter not using them. So, like you said, it's a bit... The thing that concerns me is the goalkeeper. Was he a Potter player and how bad he's been? I don't think this Fernandes is going to be that bad. Like you said, mate, player of the season for Southampton last season. Probably one of the shining lights in a dire season for them. So, we know this problem with our midfield's been ongoing for a long period of time. You see, it was evident again against Wolves how bad the midfield is. So, look, fresh legs, young legs coming in, point to prove, going to want to play. Listen, like you said, mate, hopefully he links up with our better players, but they need to start stepping up as well. You can't just be looking at this one young kid coming in playing centre midfield to solve all our problems. There's a lot of problems all over the pitch, and the players need to start stepping up to the plate, because a lot of them ain't. And hopefully these signings will kick some of the players up the arse to get themselves sorted and look for them to fight for their places. So look, exciting to see. But listen, so far for me, this transfer windows have been very underwhelming, and I can't be positive, and I'm normally the positive one.
Hopefully it can end on a high, because if we've got two players in today, if we can try to get another two in before this window shuts, hopefully keep Paquetá. Obviously it looks like maybe Irvine might be leaving, Emerson might be leaving, but with what Potter's got planned at the moment, they're not in his plans. So get them out and then get players in. From the video that I see that went out today that the club put on a couple of hours ago, I think this is a Potter signing. You see Potter's reaction when he walked into the training ground and see him, and you can tell that he's been after him for a little while. So, yeah, I'm excited to see him. And Magassa, I'll be honest, I don't really know too much about him. So, obviously know more about Fernandes because I watched him in the Premier League last season. But he comes highly rated. So, if he adds anything to our midfield, which you don't really need much skill to do, really, with our midfield at the moment. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's two signings that are hopefully going to be established in our team for a very long time. And yeah, good luck to them. Good luck to them on their West Ham careers.
Yeah. Like, look, Magassa seems to be what we need, that sort of real physicality in the midfield. Someone that really sort of get onto the ball, sort of put in tackles and then progress. I said it. Some people thought I was going a bit overboard, but I said he seems like the natural Declan Rice replacement. And I don't mean he's going to be anywhere as good as Rice, but just what Rice did for us, to the way he was able to break up play, get on the ball and then drive forward with it, after putting in a tackle, that helping us in that transition for defense to attack. So that seems to be what Magassa can bring for us. And then, it looks like Fernandes, he will slot nicely into where Ward-Prowse is. He seems to be the big upgrade on Ward-Prowse. So you have like a Magassa, Fernandes, and Paquetá midfield three. I'm really happy with that. I was talking on my video earlier that I did my reaction video, and he got, what was it? I think it was something like 2 goals, 4 assists in the Premier League last season for Southampton, which isn't a lot, Fernandes. but he was playing for one of the worst Premier League teams of all time. So you've got to imagine in terms of the play, what do you have, like Armstrong up front or something like that? He didn't have the players that we've got. He didn't have the Bowens and Fulkrugs and Somervilles. So playing with those, you'd hope he'd get those numbers up quite a bit with us.
Yeah, no, you are right, mate, in what you're saying. You are bang on point. That was one, Southampton were one of the worst ever Premier League sides. And, to get them sort of stats with, how many goals did they actually score last season, Southampton? Like you said, the lack of firepower that they had. A midfielder can only give a ball to a striker to put the ball in the back of the net. If he can't do it, your stats ain't going to go up. So hopefully, like you said, with a better quality players around him in attack, he could add to them numbers a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look, we've been linked with a couple of other midfielders, obviously Brownhill on a free transfer, and we've also been linked with is it Quinton Timber?
Yeah,
Justin
Timber's brother.
Who would be, listen, he would be a great addition to this team, and he'll complete that midfield. And then you've got three. He's only about 23, 24 as well, so he's still young.
Yeah.
And I know that he's been linked with the likes of Tottenham. I think Arsenal were linked with him. I think Bayer Leverkusen are after him. So it'll be very difficult to get him to West Ham, but you never know. And it could, it could complete the midfield. And we kick on. We go in after the international break, fresh few players, and but it starts on Sunday. We can't go into that international break 3 defeats in a row. So we need to try to get a point or even better and get 3 points, but it's going to be difficult against Forest.
Even a draw would be good. I mean, the thing is with Fernandes, the fact that he threw Hermansen straight in, which I didn't agree with, but he did, gives me some hope that he'll do the same with Fernandes, and he will put him in. And I know people sort of look at Ward-Prowse and think, he will never drop him because he's his favourite. This is his signing now. But I can't see... If I was to look at Sunday, he might play Fernandes alongside Ward-Prowse, because the thing is with Fernandes, he can do the defensive work as well. He's can put in a tackle and get to the physical aspects of things. So he might drop Rodriguez, and then you have Fernandes, Ward-Prowse, and Paqueta. That's potential. But I think he should just start straight away, because what we've got is crap.
That's I agree, and I think Fernandes will want to be in the starting 11 as well. He'll be raring to go. You see him today. He joined in training with the first team. He's fit enough. He's been playing for Southampton, so chuck him straight in. Chuck him in from the start, and as I said, it'll give them fans travelling up there something to, give hope, and it'll give us fans as well that are watching at home hope as well. So. I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad this hasn't dragged out till Monday, deadline day. It's done, dusted, and we can move on. Yeah,
it's a bit of positivity. I'll let me read some comments. But like Scott said, so far not a massively great window. But we'll talk about what we need.
The worrying thing is again, though, right, is that there's no space for the youngsters to fit in. And that's the annoying thing. Potsy had a great season last season. He had a good pre-season, plays every game. We're still seeing Rodriguez, who, let's be honest, should be nowhere near the first team at the start of the season, right? And it's a massive kick in the nuts to Potts.
I think Potts is still going to be a big part of this season, Scott.
Yeah,
I really do.
The thing that does me, though, right, is Potter come in and he give it all this crap about using the youngsters and giving the youngsters a chance. It gives the kid a chance in pre-season and then drops him for a player that we've been openly trying to get off the book for a long period of time. And it's just pathetic and a joke. And, this is the thing. I feel sorry for players like Potts because he deserves a chance and he hasn't been given it. The other night against Wolves, he ain't given a chance. The
only thing that makes me think why he didn't start him the other night is that he will start him on Sunday.
I hope so. Really do, mate. Really do. But with Fernandes coming in, you see it. Because he, like you said, he's not going to drop Ward-Prowse.
Yeah. And the thing is, there's no reason where if he was going to start him on Sunday, he couldn't have started him on Wednesday as well, because there's players there that started that will start Sunday. Thomas Harrington has a question. All right, boys, quick question for you. Do you think Potter has been sandbagging in such so Potter got signings? I'll see what you guys think. Personally, I don't think so. If he does, that's very risky because not only are you putting yourself under pressure with the fans, also with the players. You know, you're losing games. You're sending players out there to fail. So you're going to lose trust with the players as well. So I think he's doing damage just for the sake of getting some players in. Like if he was capable of getting results, I think surely he would have got results.
Yeah, I think that. Look, I think there might be. Potter may have picked some players just to say, look, looking at the ball, saying, look, this is all I've got. This is what I've got to work with. It's not working. I need signings. Now, managers have done that before. You know, where managers sometimes put 3 goalkeepers on the bench just to make a point that they haven't got enough players. So, but yeah, look, Potter doesn't want to go out and lose football matches. Players don't want to go out and lose football matches. It's been a poor start. 3 games so far this season. And yeah, we haven't picked up a result. 2 losses in the league, a heavy defeat against Chelsea and Sunderland, to be fair. And then obviously the collapse in the last 10 minutes the other night. But look, it's let's hope that fortunes are starting to change for us. And as I said, it only takes a couple of signings that can completely change the morale of the squad because they're low at the moment. They're low. Bowen, obviously, we know what happened with him the other night. All them players are low at the moment. Potter's low. The fans are low. So we need something. So let's just cling on to this little positivity for a little while.
That's the thing.
Matt Rainey with the 199 super chat. Happy Friday, all. Hashtag CKGB. I don't know what the hashtag is, but Matt, happy Friday to you, mate.
Yeah, going back to I don't think Potter could afford to. You know, with his record that he had going into the start of the season in the Premier League with us, he couldn't afford to do that. Do you know what I mean? And I think if he was doing that type of thing, you wouldn't have seen players like Rodriguez playing. You know, look, he's completely ousted Emerson from a side, a player that has been a good servant for us since we signed him. You know, a player
we'll talk about Emerson later. Don't bury the lead.
No, I'm just saying, like with what you look at what he's done with certain players, Alvarez ousting him. Yeah. You know, when
I'll tell you what, I feel a bit sorry for Alvarez, Scott. He went to Fenerbahce for Champions League football. They got knocked out, and Mourinho got sacked today.
Yeah.
I feel a bit sorry.
Well, did it?
El Chico says they're both much needed. The much needed legs were needed for 3 years. Yeah, it has been ridiculously long. We'll get onto this one, John, in a bit about Paqueta's future. 10 minutes back. Derby are the worst Premier League team they are, but I would say that Southampton team last season are probably top 3 worst Premier League team of all time.
That's what we said. One of the worst, not the worst. One of the worst.
One of. Journalists who reported the Newcastle striker linked us with Kobe Mainu on loan. I would take him, but he would definitely not be one that we could end up buying at the end of his loan. So we would have a really good loan period for us, and then we'd have to give him back. So that's the only thing with that. There's no way we'd be able to keep. So on that basis, I'd be against it.
I'd be up for it if he was the only option we had and it was deadline day and it was someone else just to bring in.
As a body, yeah.
I agree with what you say. There's nothing worse than a player coming, having a good season, and then going back to their parent club. You know, if there was an option to buy, which if there was, it would be a lot of money because he's very highly rated and he's a good player as well. So, it's going to be an interesting next few days.
Yeah, as I said, it wouldn't be a bad thing him coming in. You know, at the end of the day, so long as he performs, we get a good season out of a good player. You know, so it works. This is a thing with loans, as we said with Ferguson last season. When they work, they can work for both parties, even if you don't get to sign them at the end of the season. They get the much needed game time that they need. We get a decent player who performs at the highest level because he's competing for his places in his parent club and internationally.
I just think it depends if he's the only option or not. Like if it's a choice between him or going out and signing someone on loan we could keep or signing someone permanently, I would choose that over developing their player. And there's a lot of talent there, but I think even against Grimsby, he wasn't good. I'm not saying that means he's shit, but I'm
But the
just
thing is,
saying.
Dan, like, sometimes players need to get away from certain clubs, certain atmospheres. That club at the moment isn't a good place to be at. To be
Yeah.
fair, a bit like us at the moment.
The
So
thing is, though, mate, he's only 20, so and people are saying, first of all, Borough, yes, there will be a watch along for the game. People are talking about being undecided and Potts and things like this. Potts isn't getting a chance, and we're going to loan in Kobe Mainu, who's 20 years old, and play him over the likes of Orford and Potts and our other youngsters. That don't sit right for me. I would rather give those players a chance than develop Man United's youngster.
yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying, mate. The problem is that he's been in and around. He's been in the Premier League. He's got that experience. Which, as much as I said, I'm a big advocate for Potts being given a chance, but he's not Premier League experienced. Do you know what I mean? It may be that one step too far. I don't think it will be. I think, when Ryan spoke about Potts, I think that he would fit perfectly into the West Ham side and be able to bring. He wouldn't look like a fish out of water in the Premier League. He looks like he's got the attributes to be able to compete within a midfield of the Premier League. He ain't going to set the world alight, but he's got the
We're
attributes.
talking about as squad players. That's the thing with Mainu and Potts. It's not squad players. Potts, surely we can risk a season and give him a chance as a squad player, being a sub and things like that. So I would rather take that gamble on him than go, let's get Mainu, because Mainu's not guaranteed to come in and elevate us. He's got the raw talent there, but he's still not the proven article yet.
I think someone made a good point in the comments a little while ago. I was reading it, and they said that maybe Potter might be protecting Potts a little bit because it ain't going well, and to chuck him in, it might sort of damage him a bit. But maybe he's sort of keeping him back, and then he'll put him in once we get a better sort of midfield and that. Because I think, as I said, I think Potts has still got a big part to play in this season. He's got the talent, he's got the potential. We see it in pre-season, as someone said as well. Pre-season. This is the real deal now. You lose a game, you lose points. So yeah, it might be a bit of that, but yeah, it's I agree with you. I wouldn't want to bring someone in on loan when we've got someone like Potts there.
Yeah. Steve WHU Bell. Oh,
sorry, mate. Go.
I was going to read that. Steve WHU Bell 499 super chat. No Raz tonight, lads. Friday night pint chill. It always is when it's this combination. It's always chill, mate. You know what I mean? You never know. Me and Scott, we may have a few tear ups, but no. When it was, when it was like me, for some reason, when it was me, Scott, and Graham, that combo would bring like the fire out of Graham, wouldn't it?
Oh, mate, all the time. Graham found his angry side when he was ever in the room with just me and you. It was great. Do you know what? They were aroused, but it was actually quite nice for me to sit back and watch.
Well, you was involved in some of it. It weren't just me. You was getting it was me, Graham, and Brian the other night, and yeah, Graham was on he was chill.
Yeah.
Graham made a guest appearance.
Yeah. Managed to rope him into it. Moving on to like I said, the what's next with West Ham. We've got now, a left back in, a goalkeeper. Speaking of, actually, quickly before I move on, me and Graham and Brian were talking about this news that we were still in for a goalkeeper and they was going back for John Victor. Well, according to Fabrizio, Forest are about to sign John Victor. With the here we go. They've given him the here we go. So it looks like the guy that we shafted and went back for has said, piss off, I'm going Forest. But the idea...
At least he can't play against us, mate. That's one plus side. Imagine him going in and having an absolute weldy.
Oh, yeah. That would be it, wouldn't it? But it's just, the idea that we was trying to sign a third goalkeeper. It looks like we are still in for that. I mean, it's embarrassing. Like, we've just signed Hermansen. So we've got Fotheringham, Areola, and Hermansen, and then we're trying to sign another one. Some people are thinking it means that Areola's going. Whoever this goalkeeper is has to be shit hot if we get rid of Areola, because then
he's got to be better than all three of them put together. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? You're sitting there and you're looking at, we've got two goalkeepers on our books whose Premier League record is absolutely shocking, and Areola. So you're sitting there. If you're getting someone in, he's got to be a top quality goalkeeper. This is the thing now. You can't be signing another player who's on par with the ones that we've got.
No. Yeah, 100%, mate.
Yeah, I agree, and I think we was also linked with Onana as well, weren't we? From United, there was some talks of a loan deal, and I'm thinking if West Ham are turning that down, you know how bad he is.
Yeah,
like,
mate, honestly, I think if we sign that goal, if we sign Onana, I wouldn't bother going over there.
Oh,
honestly.
mate, yeah,
would not bother.
But yeah, I mean, as you said about the other goalkeeper, I don't blame him after the way he was treated. You know, Forest have obviously slipped in and taken him. If we do get another goalkeeper in, I definitely think that'll be Areola going. They'll get a little bit of money for him, which I'll be a bit gutted with. I do like Areola. I know he has his moments and his distribution is not the best, but I feel safer with him in goal than I do with this new goalkeeper. But look, I hope Hermansen comes good. You know, he's had a shaky start, a really bad start, probably the worst start to your football career at a new club, letting in, what is it? How many goals?
Yeah, 8 goals, 11 shots.
8 goals in 2 games in 11 shots or whatever it was. So, let's hope he has a worldie on Sunday and we'll all forgive him.
100%. Rich with £5 super chat. Thank you very much, Rich. Great seeing Graham. Great chat. Who are you going to fight tonight, Dan? Are you after Ryan's belt?
We're going to have to do. I'm going to have to defend this. It's getting a bit dusty, and I'm getting bored of polishing it.
Yeah, are you a fighting champion or what, Ryan? Where no title defenses?
Oh, we've been waiting for Scott.
I did go on holiday, so now I'm back. We can get it all booked in.
Scott was so humiliated in the first round that he went and fled the country and had to recollect his thoughts.
We have to all be in the room at the same time to defend the title. That's the rules.
That's the rules,
mate. I had to leave the country and like rediscover myself and everything over that embarrassment. I tell you,
he had to go in the mountains and reflect, meditate. Oh God, Matt Powell says beer pong. But is beer pong a serious competitive sport? I don't know. So we've got a goalkeeper, a left a left back, a striker in Callum Wilson, now 2 midfielders. If the window was to shut now, and say that was it, we're in a better position, but I think we're still massively short. I don't think that's enough. I don't think that's a great window.
I definitely think we need another striker in. If we can get another striker in the next couple of days, even if it's someone on loan, as long as they're decent, I won't mind that. But we definitely need another striker, because if we don't, I can still see us getting Antonio back after the window shuts. I can see it happening. But look, I hope we do get a striker in, just someone to sort of challenge Fulkrug a bit, because to be fair I know he got criticised when we signed him, but I think since what I've seen of Callum Wilson when he's played for us, he's shown a bit of fight and he wants to get in the box, and he looks like he wants to play. I know he if we're going by his contract, he gets paid when he plays, but he's a professional footballer at the end of the day. He wants to score goals, so fair play to him.
Yeah, I think with him, mate, I think he wants to prove that he isn't finished. Everyone's talking about him as if he's washed up and done and dusted. He's on that contract that he is, so he's going to be wanting to be playing games. And the thing for me is that, Fulkrug, I think, is hung out to dry a bit. I don't think we suit, again, the system doesn't suit the strikers that we got, even with Wilson. You see the other night, we go 3-2 down, he brings them both on. How many times did they actually get given the ball? And this is the worry. You've got a player that, look, Wilson has his injury records. We know he didn't get any goals last season, but he is a quality striker. You don't lose that quality, right? He is getting a bit older, but he's still younger than Antonio. He's still got the eye for goal, but we've got to give him the ball and give him the ball in the right positions and get him to work the right way. And this is the thing again. I think we've got 2 strikers who are decent strikers, but the system doesn't fit the striker. We haven't got the players in around it. We don't play high enough up the pitch and things like that. And this calls. You can have the best striker in the world if you don't give him the ball in the right position, he ain't going to score. And this is the thing for us. You see the balls that we put in for the 2 goals we got the other night. Fulkrug's probably sitting on that bench thinking, they never give me that ball in that area. They never put the ball there when I'm on the pitch. And this is the frustrating thing for me watching it. And it must be for them because the ball for Souček and the ball for Bowen, brilliant balls into the box. Something we don't do when we've got big strikers on the pitch.
No, that's it. I want to see something different. I want to see us get a striker with some legs, someone that can play on the shoulder. We can play some balls over the top too. Something, a different dimension.
Play a bit like Vardy.
Yeah, something like that. Do you know what I mean? So we have that different option of playing where it's not just reliant on crosses or a full crew picking up the ball early and linking up and tip tap. Someone that we can go that direct route and punish teams that maybe play a little bit higher up the pitch. I would like just that different option. Someone a bit younger, a bit quicker. I think that's what we need. So the striker market is tough right now.
Yeah, it is.
Abraham. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, mate. I'm surprised that no one snapped up Vardy yet. I know he's been linked with that newly promoted club in Italy. I think he was linked with Celtic the other day, and I thought, look, that'd be perfect to.
Apparently, he's up to Wrexham.
Yeah, Wrexham would be a good shout. Obviously, they're in the spotlight at the moment, isn't they? But he was linked with Celtic the other day, and I thought that's a perfect move for him up there. He'd scored loads of goals up for Celtic, wouldn't he? So, but yeah, I agree with you. I'd like someone young, hungry, someone who's a bit different to the likes of Fulkrug and Wilson. Someone like, I know he's not liked, we don't like saying his name at West Ham, but someone like a Jermaine Defoe type player. Someone little in the box all the time, quick on the turn, get the shots away. Yeah, no, I don't know who that will be. As Dan said, it's tough at the moment. Everyone's after these top strikers. Now, everyone wants that 20-goal a season striker, but they're hard to come by. I mean, we haven't had one in the Premier League since John Hartson.
Yeah.
So that shows how long we ain't had one for. So
yeah, I would listen. If we didn't get a striker, I wouldn't be completely fuming. I wouldn't mind seeing Marshall get a chance this season. I know people think, he wants to give all the youngsters a chance, but as an option. There, we've got Fulkrug, who's obviously going to be the main man. We've got Callum Wilson, who's experienced if he stays fit. He's a quality striker. And then Marshall, as an option. I'm fine with that.
You've also got Jared Bowen as well, who can play out top if he needs to.
I would make Jared Bowen our 4th choice striker because I just don't like seeing him up top. Yeah. I'd have him behind Marshall and just keep him on the right. But yeah, you're right. Like I don't think it's a want more than it is a need. I think what is a need besides another midfielder, I think we do need 3, and there's talking about 3 out, 3 in. What we need, I think, is a centre back. I think we need to address. We need a proper defender, a Craig Dawson, a James Collins, an Angelo Bonner, someone that can defend set pieces as well. That's what I want to see because we've got 3 in there that are awful at that.
Joe, the key thing as well, though, mate, not only being able to head the ball, but we need a leader. We need a leader in that back line. We ain't got one between them 3. And it's disappointing because I thought Kilman would have been that, but he's not.
Again, given the armband. As soon as he come in.
Exactly. But this is the thing, and that's what we need. We need someone to come in now who's going to grab that back line by the bollocks and start organising them because that's a key part of holding a back line together is a bit of organisation. You saw with Bonner, he organised the defence quite well. The communication, there doesn't seem to be any between our back line at the minute. They all seem to be just on different levels and different planets to each other. And the fact that none of them can head the ball is even more worrying. So, we need that solid centre-half. Like you said, an old-fashioned type centre-half. Who's going to get his foot in, who's going to put his head where he's going to get hurt. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, a Collins, a Dawson, them players, that type of centre-half that's going to put his body in line. And then he sort of, with that presence, lifts everyone else around him. That's what we're missing. That's what we've got to be looking at. Get an old-fashioned stylish centre-half who's going to put it in where it matters. Because these ones at the minute, they just don't seem to care.
Yeah. No, you're right, mate. People talk about Charlie Creswell from Toulouse.
Mhm.
As a young English centre back. If you get him, then that's someone for the future. But to get that experienced centre back, like we did with a Craig Dawson, and bring him in, and someone that just wants to stick their head where other people don't, and just throw themselves in front of the ball, and
Yeah.
that's what we really need at the club, honestly.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think what I read today as well that Aguerd is looking to try to force a move to Marseille, which then we'd have to bring someone else in because we couldn't rely on Mavropanos, Kilman, and Todibo. So yeah,
because we need. I think we need another one, even if we keep those. Like if we're playing this three centre backs.
Yeah,
Charlie Creswell. Yeah, Charlie Creswell could be a good shout. And then someone just said there, Chavaloa on loan from Chelsea. I know we was linked with him last season. So, yeah, look, I've seen there's a few people saying about Lindelof as well. Obviously, free agent now. So, yeah, it's gonna, as I said, it's gonna be a very interesting few days for not only us, for all the Premier League teams trying to get in these last minute transfers. But let's just hope we get our business done before Monday. And then maybe Monday we could just have a little surprise edition. Just a little, we can sit back and then they just announce someone out of the blue.
Yeah, that would be nice. But yeah, I think regardless of what happens with Aguerd, centre backs needed. None of those three look like the type to be shouting and communicating with each other. If Aguerd goes, we need to try and get a decent transfer fee for him.
Mhm.
It's talking about Emerson could be going Marseille as well, so that'd be two of them. And try and get some decent money because that's two defenders out, and we need someone in. He doesn't seem to be that interested in playing Skulls much. So, who's there to cover for Emerson? Diouf. If
I think
Emerson's gone,
I think this is important as well. What Lewis is saying, retaining Paqueta is important. If we can keep hold of him as well, then I think we've had a good transfer window. We started off bad, but I think keeping him is a key to, because I think having him and Fernandes as well, they're two players who look like they could link up and work well together.
Yep. No, 100%. And looking at it, Matt Powell says that you see Zuma training in a West Ham outfit. Yeah, I did. You see that picture of Zuma training in the West Ham outfit, and it's good. It shows I think how much he loves the club, and it's such a shame because if it weren't for his injuries and his knees, he could still be playing for us now. And he was such a good player, but his injuries has just hampered his career.
He was brilliant for us, and he was a great character as well. And as you said, it was a shame with his injuries, but yeah, it's always nice to see ex-players, especially when they're still playing. Like they still wear the West Ham tops, and it shows, how much they love their time at the football club. And Kurt Zuma's forever going to be in our history as one of the players that helped us win that Conference League. So yeah, I've always liked Zuma. I wish it would have worked out better for him with his injuries, but yeah, it's unfortunately the sad part of football for some of these players.
Yeah. 100%. Thoughts on Jose if Potter gets sacked? So Nicky's doing a video tomorrow with Wolfie from Forest Fan TV talking about debating on which manager either would want, like Nuno, because it's Nuno or Jose. Like let's talk about Jose going Forest and us getting Nuno, or them keeping Nuno and us getting Jose. I know, Jose, mate, just give me the chaos. Give me the pure.
I would take Mourinho in a heartbeat, mate. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I think he would be the perfect fit for our football club. And just the comedy value of watching him trying to get on with Sullivan, because I think he's a few things about himself. But I think that he would lift the dressing room. I think he'd lift the fans. I think the one thing I've always liked about Mourinho is that he takes the heat off the players. We lose a game, it's his fault. If players win a game, they're the ones that he doesn't take the praise for it. So I think he'd do well. And you know what the comments he said last season when he said if he was come back to the Premier League, he'd want to manage someone that's not in Europe. He's got a house in London. It's perfectly set up for him. But look, Potter is still our manager, by the way. And if Potter can turn it round, then fair play to him. But if he does go, Mourinho would be my choice. And I like Nuno as well, but Mourinho for me, I think he'd just be perfect. He'd be perfect.
I have a feeling, Scott, I haven't really seen you say much, but I'm sure in past conversations I kind of know how you feel about Jose.
The thing is now, though, mate, I think the mad thing is Jose would coming in, right, he'd deflect everything. Do you know what I mean? The fanfare around West Ham at the minute is all this negativity and everything like that. Jose coming in just steals that spotlight straight away. Do you know what I mean? It takes the pressure off the players because everything's going to be about Jose. That's the one thing. Love your rating. That's the one thing about him. He does deflect things and he knows how to get himself in the spotlight, but take that pressure off the players. Listen, I think in a way sometimes he may be a bit past the Premier League, but I honestly don't see where West Ham go if they get rid of Potter manager wise, because what we're working with and all that, you need a player that's going to get the best out of what we've got. And I can see Mourinho doing that. He's got that about him. He's got that character about him. But like I said, just taking the spotlight away from all the negativity in the club, I think will help boost the team. Yeah, because it is just.
I think with Jose, I know. A lot of people talk about, he doesn't play the bestest brand of football, but let's be honest, like the options that if we get rid of Potter will be Dyche, Cooper, Wilder, those sorts of managers.
So what you're saying is Moyes 3.0, 4.0 and 5.0, because literally we're going to play Moyes ball from when Moyes first come in.
Yeah, exactly. But this is what I'm saying. So we've played crap football for so long now that for this season, I would rather just get Mourinho in for the pure chaos. And even if it doesn't last long and he ends up falling out and gets sacked, just have that period of time where we can say Jose Mourinho managed West Ham and we enjoy the circus around it and the car crash and the fun. Yeah. I'll take it.
Thing is as well, like someone said there that there was when he was at Chelsea the 2 times, it was a toxic dressing room. Man United is a toxic dressing room. I don't buy that. I don't think it was. There might have been. Look, there's always going to be players that don't get on with him and that. But whatever you do, you can't deny all these clubs that he's been at. He wins trophies. He would have won Tottenham a trophy if they didn't try to be smart and sack him the week before a final and then put Ryan Mason in charge. Everywhere he goes, he went to Roma, won the Conference League. He Man United probably won. Well, it was on Man United when they was on the decline, weren't they? They finished second in the Premier League. He won the Europa League with them. So I'm not saying he's going to come to West Ham and win trophies, but it will definitely change something at the football club.
Yeah, 100%. That's it, mate. That's the thing. He will, and the thing is as well. You look at it, he clashes with egos, right? I don't see many egos in this West Ham squad.
No,
do you know what I mean?
I think they would, and this is the thing. He's a manager that's been there, won it all, done that. I think he would command a level of respect and reverence from these players, where he's not going into dressing rooms where players have won shitloads and that achieved all this, where they feel like they're on his level. Like he's coming in to our players, and they will have a lot more reverence, I think, for him. And he
will make them feel like winners, and they will run through brick walls for Jose Mourinho. He will make them feel like the best players in the world. That's what he's done. A bit like what Aaron Redknapp used to do back in the day.
Yeah. So, but do check out, Nicky's video with Wolfie from Forest Fan TV on that tomorrow. That'd be an interesting one. John Higgins with a 199 super chat. Is Scott now our full-time rep on the overlap? I think he should be. Scott?
You've been on the overlap, Scott?
No, I've never been on the overlap, mate. Don't even watch it.
Well, you have been on the overlap, mate. Back in your playing days, didn't you? You was always on the Was you an overlapping type, Scott? Did you overlap a lot?
No,
not
really, mate. Not really.
He's just sit back.
I wasn't really an attacking right back, so
He was a
Right.
Gary Neville.
Well, there you go. There's your overlap. There's your connection. But yeah, out of the players, right? So these are the players that are probably that are linked with moves away. So tell me which one of these players you foresee staying and leaving. Irvin, Rodriguez, Emerson, Aguerd. I think Mavropanos has been linked with a move away. And then you've also got Paqueta, obviously, has been linked with a move away. So that's 6 players potentially. Areola as well. So that's 7 potentially. Out of those players, I mean, who do you actually foresee going, and who should be going and staying?
I just see, just quickly, Dan. I just see someone say it there, but I've just looked on Twitter. The Magassa has been officially announced.
Hey,
So they've put a little cryptic tweet out, but yeah, it's him. So yeah, it's all done.
Fucking wait till we went live, didn't they? Enough.
It's all right. That's live for you. You know,
2 signings in 1 day, boys. 2 signings in 1 day. That's
London buses, mate. London buses.
Yeah, just as we're talking about players that were going to leave as well. So it's perfect timing, really. But yeah, out of them players, Irving, look, no disrespect to him. I've always said it. I don't think he's Premiership quality. Not doubting his attitude, but he's not good enough for the Premier League. Mavropanos, I don't know with Mavropanos. Sometimes I look at him and I think, yeah, he looks half decent, and then I watch him and I think, no, he's not good enough. But with what we've got at the moment, we can't afford to lose him and Aguerd. But out of the 2, I'll be honest, I'd probably rather keep Mavropanos over Aguerd.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing, mate. I'm with you. I think Emerson's all but out the door, and Potter don't like him. Yeah, Potter's got no time for him, so he's definitely gone. It's hard, mate. It's hard because I think Aguerd is the better player out of the 2, but he still seems to, for me, he can't cut it in the Premier League. I don't think the physicality and it does him in.
I think he's been the best at the 3, though, Scott. To be fair.
Yeah, but he's still. This is the thing, though, Dad. He's the best out of the 3, and now poor all 3 of them been. Mavropanos played against Wolves and looked like the best centre half we got in the football club. And like Ryan said, you sit there and watch him, you think, yeah, he's a decent player, and then he either goes wandering, or he just makes the most stupid mistakes. But you can't afford both of them to go. So
I'm a bit gutted the way it's ended for Emerson at West Ham, because I think he's been a good signing. I remember when we first signed him and people were thinking, it's just another Chelsea reject. He's just here for the money. But no, I really liked him. I think he had a good career. And look, he was man of the match in the final in the Conference League. Yeah, he was unreal that day. And it's quite sad the way he's leaving the football club. And I wish he had a chance to sort of say goodbye to the fans, because I'm sure the fans would want to show their appreciation to him. But look, this is what football's about, isn't it? Things like this happen. Sorry. Players 1 minute they're there, then they're gone. They're out of favour with certain managers. I mean, look, a new manager could come in tomorrow and Emerson could be a starter. That's the thing with reality of football. But Emerson knows he's not going to play, so he's looking for a move. So I wish him well. I do. I wish him well in his career.
Same, mate. Same. I'd rather see him stay. I really would, because I think that him and Diouf, look, no disrespect to Scholes, but Emerson's been there, done it, won it all. You've got to be looking at that experience. You need that experience within your squad. But for some reason, Potter doesn't like him, and he's going to go. And it is a shame, mate. Like you said, we've not had the opportunity to give him a bit of a send off. Because he deserves it. But like you said, he was going to want to be playing football. He's getting older. He's going to want to be playing week in, week out, not sitting on the bench behind a youngster. So it's experience wise, it's a big loss, I think.
It worries me, like Potter, though, the way he's fallen out with 2 players that never had any problems, right, with the past 2 managers in Emerson and Alvarez. And all of a sudden, they've been completely frozen out at West Ham. And yeah, that's concerning. That's an indictment on a guy that's supposed to be known for his man management. And he's managed these poorly, and now he's probably lowered Emerson's value, and we've had to loan out Alvarez with a option to buy. These are two players you get decent money for.
That was a poor bit of business for me from West Ham with the loaning out of Alvarez. I can understand if there was a bid coming for him and it was money that we couldn't turn down, but I still think we should have kept him. I really do. Even with the players we brought in today, I think having Alvarez there as well would have just given us that more bit comfort in midfield. So, but look, he's gone now, and hopefully, you never know, he might be back next season. Whether it be Potter in charge or Jose or Nuno or whoever's in charge of West Ham at the time.
That'll be imagine Jose's West Ham manager. Then he comes back and he finally gets to play under Jose. That'd be good for him.
I think the thing is as well is I think Alvarez has proved when you put him in a midfield that's got a bit of legs about it, you know, and put him in his position. As we said, you know, you look at the Gold Cup for Mexico, you know, brilliant performances.
Yeah,
and
there has to be balance. There has to be balance, and we haven't had it.
That's it. And if you think about it, you know, when we signed him, he was a holding midfielder. And we said this last season. How many times did we see him chasing down the goalkeeper? And again, I think it comes to poor coaching and poor management.
Yep, 100%.
And that's just that's not Potter. He was doing that under Lopetegui. So it's not just Potter. You know, it's something not right there.
Yeah, I think I think you're right, mate. So someone said, I don't think Lawless rates Klopp, because I think a few people have been talking about Klopp in the chat. I don't foresee us getting Klopp. I think that's a complete non-starter.
Klopp's never going to come back to the Premier League.
No, Klopp's happy doing these adverts with that whatever he's doing. Every time I turn on the telly, I see an advert with him on. So yeah, look, he wants to take a bit of time out of football. I can see him back in
football, isn't he?
Yeah, I can see him back in managing one day. Whether he'll come back to the Premier League, I don't know. It'll probably take a big offer for him to come back, but obviously he's got his connections with Liverpool, and he said he wouldn't do the Premier League again. But look, money talks, you know, so you never know. There could be like maybe chucking out there, maybe some like a Newcastle or someone club on.
Yeah, I don't think he'd want to work for Sullivan. I think a lot of people know what Sullivan is, especially people that have been in the Premier League. I can't see him wanting to work under them. So yeah, it's very unlikely. You say money talks, but the problem is we've got an owner that's not going to give him that money, and that's the problem. He's not going to be backed. He's not going to be given players that he wants. There's going to be interference. He's going to be given sort-ass players. Like, this is a serious elite manager, and we have the opposite of a serious elite owner. We have an absolute clown in charge. So it'd be a fool. It'd be an absolute fool to come and.
You know what? I've seen a lot of comments there about Cornet. I forgot we still had him.
Oh, so, fuck, yeah. Cornet, yeah. Jesus. I mean,
the official video's out now.
Nice. Good.
Heart, discipline, and strength, and he's wearing a necklace with the hammers on it. I love him already.
Yeah, I've got a good feeling about him. I think he's exactly what we need. And this is what I was saying earlier. Like, even if you look at it and they go, well, do you know what? He's not going to be the best defensive midfielder and all this. It's the energy, it's the legs in midfield that we need. I don't care what anyone says. There's no chance that I'm believing he's not an upgrade on Rodriguez. There's no chance I'm not believing that Fernandes is an upgrade on Ward-Prowse. I guarantee you our midfield will look better with these players in it, right? Even if they're not up trees, like Scott said.
There's gonna have a lot more energy in that midfield. Something that I say it all the time. The midfield is the engine of a football team. You know, it's where the games are won or lost in midfield. You know, they dictate the game of football. So I'm as I said, I agree. It's an upgrade on them players, and I just hope they hit the ground running and get off to a good start in their West Ham careers. Obviously, we're not going to see Magassa until after the international break now, but if we can get Fernandes in that team on Sunday, get a positive result, we're going to the international break with a bit more positivity, and then we look forward to that first game back.
Yeah. No, definitely. But with Cornet, it's weird. Like, some of these players, I was saying it earlier, it's just weird to me that we've been talking about Emerson going for God knows that. He was sent home from the international tour in America in July. So a month ago, he was sent home to clear out his flat and go. He's still here, right? You've got, Cornet. We've known he's been surplus to requirements and he don't fancy him. He's still here. Rodriguez, we've known for ages that he wants to be sold. He's still here. And we've got, 2-3 days, till Monday to shift them with no serious links, no negotiation. It's just quiet. And that's the thing. I think Cornet's just going to end up being loaned out again, to be honest with you. But it's very odd that none of these players that we really want to get rid of are any closer to a move.
No, this is the worrying thing, mate, and this is the problem. You could end up getting out of this, coming to the close of this window, stuck with players that you've openly been trying to get rid of for the rest of the season, like for the whole of pre-season and the start of the season, and that's the scary thing. If we're stuck with these players, is that going to bring down the squad? It's a lot of it's on the temperament of the player, whether the player's going to want to prove the manager wrong, try and get himself in the team, train hard, or whether they're just going to sulk and cause problems in your dressing room. That's the worrying thing, being so open about trying to shift these players on. It could massively, massively backfire on you as a manager, especially when you're under pressure as it is.
Yeah, no, 100%, mate. Like I said, hopefully we end up getting some of these players out and just in time to refresh. Because this is the thing, if we leave it till deadline day and we need to shift them to bring more in, well, then we ain't bringing more in, and we ain't leaving ourselves enough time. So Robbie says, if we sold Paqueta and got Elliott, would you be happy? No, I don't think. I don't know.
Well, no,
depends what we got for Paqueta, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, if we got, they want upwards of 60 million, don't they? 60 million plus for him. If we sold him and got Harvey Elliott in, it wouldn't be the worst in the world. But look, I think Paqueta started the season so well. Obviously, got himself a couple of goals. He got that great goal against Chelsea last week, even though it was a heavy defeat. But he's confident, and obviously against Wolves, but his confident levels must be up there at the moment. And when he's seeing younger players coming in, he's probably thinking, do you know what? We might be able to do something this season. We're not going to win the Premier League. We know that. We're probably not going to challenge for Europe. But there's a chance that we can push up the league and try to get in that top 10.
Yeah. Yeah, no, agreed. Yeah, it all depends on the fees and prices, and I would want that to happen and us have a little bit of money left over, to be honest.
Look, I think we'd all be happy with Elliott coming in, but it's just losing the player of the quality of Paquetá is irreplaceable. I know sometimes his performances ain't that good, and they don't warrant the quality of the player that he is, but we need creative players. We lack creativity in the side, and Paquetá is one of them players. He can be forward thinking. He looks to play balls that other players haven't got the bottle to play. And again, fitting players, the strikers in around that type of player that they know. You see with Bowen. Bowen knows where Paquetá wants to play the ball. Paquetá he's going to try and put these balls into positions that other midfielders are not going to do. So to lose that quality in the side, well, especially going forward, if you're looking to change the dynamic in the midfield, it could be quite detrimental.
Yeah.
We've got Somerville as well, haven't we? Coming back.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to him coming back. I hope he can stay fit.
He's been training. Cornet, I'm surprised that Burnley haven't been linked with Cornet. I thought they might have wanted to maybe get him back on loan or maybe a cheeky bit.
But then how he's gone with us.
Yeah, if they've looked into him and maybe thinking he's too much injured. But I just quickly want to put a comment up. I started this one, right? This makes me laugh when people call us a yo-yo club, right? We've been relegated twice in the last, 30-odd years. We've been in the Premier League now for 14 consecutive seasons. Man City, I think, have been relegated more than us. Are you going to call Man City a yo-yo club? When they say West Ham are a yo-yo club and Moyes is the only thing that made it less, I don't get that because, as I said, we've been relegated in 2003 from the Premier League. We got relegated in 2011, wasn't it? So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot more clubs that have been relegated a lot more times than us.
Newcastle?
Yeah, Newcastle, City were in Division 2
Yep.
not that only 30 odd years ago. So
I think
I
when
wouldn't call
people say that we're a yo-yo club, they expose themselves as being shit at yo-yos because they can only go up.
a yo-yo club to me is a Norwich. Who
Norwich,
come
Fulham.
up, go down. Fulham. Even though Fulham have been they've been
stabilised a
consistent
bit
in the Premier League,
now.
you know. Yeah,
But before that, they was up and down. Before this period, they was up and down.
Yeah, your Norwich's, your West Broms.
Yeah.
I was the
Southampton.
That's it. Yeah, Leeds. You know,
yeah.
these are all clubs that up and down, up and down.
Someone
That's
just
a
said there,
yo-yo.
Chelsea have been relegated the same amount of times as us. You know, I think we're in a small group of clubs that have never been. I don't think we've been in lower than the second division or outside the top
Never
two
been
divisions.
lower than the top two divisions.
Yeah. So I don't get people that know that don't know facts about football. I think it's just an easy thing to come on and say we're a yo-yo club. As Dan said, you must be pretty shit at yo-yo because you fling it down and then it's there for like 30 years. So
the thing is, as well, is you see there's a comment earlier about Moyes is your best Premier League manager. Stats wise, he is. We're not sitting there denying that. But if you actually sat there and sat through, especially towards the end of his tenure, of football that we had to sit through, you'd understand why. Look, we're all grateful for Moyes. Moyes is, in our living history, Moyes has probably given us one of the best moments we've ever had in our footballing lives, by winning that trophy. And I'll eternally be thankful for that because I've always got that memory now. But the football was diabolical, and sometimes you can put up with not winning as many games as you should if the football's a bit more entertaining. But the problem is that, as I've said, Moyes has gone, and the managers that replace him always play exactly the same crap.
The thing is with David Moyes, right? Yeah, stats wise, he got us the most Premier League points. I'm not denying we had some great times under David Moyes, but he won 4 games in these last few months, right? 6 months. We
was conceding record goals.
And David Moyes and West Ham come to an agreement at the end of his contract. So he wasn't sacked. He was just his contract wasn't renewed. And they parted ways. So I don't get all this like when people go on about yes, we won a trophy under David Moyes, and I'll be forever like that was one of the greatest nights of my life. Like for most West Ham fans in sort of our generation that never see us win the FA Cup. So yeah, but look, David Moyes is gone now. He's at Everton. So as Lopetegui come in, he took over Moyes' team. He added some players to his team, players that probably weren't good enough. He got sacked. Potter's come in. He's inherited that. So yeah, it's at the moment where we've got a bad chain going on, and we need someone to break that chain. Maybe it might be Potter. Maybe after this transfer window, we might see a change in fortune, and we might see better performances.
We'll see. Breaking news: Guarino, Everton backing with an improved bid for Souček. There's talks about potentially Souček going if to fund more players coming in. I don't know what this improved bid is, but if it's not a serious solid bid, I think it'll be a mistake to let him go. I think with the character he is, the leader he is.
Letting him go is a mistake, mate. The guy, look, when the chips are down, you call on Souček. Time and time again, he's proved it. He's got to stay at this football club because
just his contributions, mate, is worth more than 20 million, as someone just said there. Like, so you can understand why David Moyes wants him because David Moyes has worked with him and he knows what you get from Souček. That's why I'm surprised Soufal didn't end up at Everton.
Yeah. That's the thing.
He would be a big loss, and I know he gets slated a lot, Souček, but you would realise how much of a loss he would be when he's not in our squad.
Yeah, 100%, mate. As we've always said, he ain't technically the best player, but he always puts a shift in. You know that he's going to be there. He's going to pop up the goal. We were sitting there talking about characters and players who put their bodies on the line and their head where he's going to get hurt. Souček's one of them. Souček, he'll lose him from the squad.
He'll get you a goal when you need it. He'll get you a penalty. He'll get you a free kick. He'll if you need him to defend in our box, he will. If you need as I said, a late goal, someone who can head a ball in the opposition's box, he's your man, and he's always been the go-to man. And I don't think he's ever let us down. I know he gets slated a lot because he's not the quickest, not the most technically gifted player, but I'd rather have Souček's over like the likes of Rodriguez.
Well, yeah, that's it. And I just think, you know, you need that sort of character at the club. And I think I've always said this. I think he can be a solid plan B for us. And
Yep.
you know, he really off the bench. And in certain games, there's certain games maybe where we're not going to see so much of the ball, and we're maybe going to counter attack a bit more. Games like that Souček can be invaluable. So if we're not going to get money that's going to really set us up to massively improve, then it's pointless. You know, we just give him Moyes his player that he wants.
Yep.
And
we're strengthening Everton and weakening ourselves.
Yeah, strengthening a rival.
Yeah. And Everton will be a relegation battle rival this season.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. These are the teams we don't want to be strengthening.
Yeah, that's it. So unless it allows us to bring in someone really special and really top quality, yeah. Oh, well,
sorry.
Let Evan have Kilman instead. Yeah, they could have Rodriguez.
Do you know what? He'll probably go there and become the bollocks because I think David Moyes will probably get the best out of him.
Yeah, maybe. I just can't believe we paid 40 million off the geezer. That's mad.
We've got quite a few people watching at the moment. If you want to hit that like button, it really helps us out. You know, it don't cost you nothing. Just give us a thumbs up. You know, it really helps us. It's a good crowd in here tonight. Got some good comments as well. It's a positive night. 2 signings, and And then you look at last week when it was all down in the dumps, and you look at the other night when we lost the Wolves, and we all look like fucking, you know, we didn't want to be here. It just shows what a couple of signings can do.
We ain't even got 200 likes yet, so you get that up. What YouTube does is if we get a lot of likes, then they show it to more people and go, well, this is a good video, you should watch.
Let's see if we can hit 1,000 before we finish.
Oh, fucking all right. Lads, hope you got a couple of hours.
If everyone hit that thumbs up now, we'd get it. So yeah. Really helps us out.
Oh, but we jumped right up there. Cheers, everyone. We really appreciate you. So keep hitting that like button. Yeah. And yes, Randy says, Dan, Scott, Ryan, if you had a choice, what coach who you would all want? Me, right now, it'd be Iraola from Bournemouth. The football that they play, the job he's done with Bournemouth, with the size of the club. He's the guy. It would be very difficult to get him. Sullivan don't like to pay people out his contract. We're not in the best position. But if I had to pick anyone, it would be Iraola from Bournemouth.
Lads. Mate, I think that's a good shout. You know, he plays the team play decent football. You know, whether he could get the best out of the players that we've got now, this is the problem for me, mate. I'll take anyone that doesn't play the Moyes ball that I'm seeing. So I'm particularly not fussed, you know, just so long as they play a bit of better brand of football than what we've been seeing for the past 2 seasons.
I mean, my choice, unfortunately, is now Spurs' manager. I wish we would have gone for him before Potter. I think we've missed the trick there, and obviously Tottenham are taking advantage of it. And I think he's going to do well for Tottenham. And you know, he's a good manager, Thomas Frank. But yeah, I agree with you, Dan. The Bournemouth manager, I think he's got a big future. No disrespect to Bournemouth, but I think he's got to step up to take on a bigger club, a European team. Nuno, you know, realistically looking at managers we could get, if Nuno was to lose his job at Forest, he's not losing his job because he's a bad manager. He's losing his job because he don't get on with the chairman. The brand of football he plays is good. And I think someone else mentioned it there, the Crystal Palace manager. I think he plays good football as well. You know,
that'd be a dream to get
him away from Crystal Palace at the moment, especially with what they're. I work with someone who's a Palace fan, and I was talking to him today, and he's like, they qualified for the Conference League last night, didn't they? And it's their first time they've ever been in Europe. And I said, mate, you've got a chance of winning this competition because, you know, it's this competition. We've lived it. Chelsea have done it. You know, Villa got to the semi-finals, didn't they? English clubs seem to have a good run in this. And, yeah, it'd be good for Palace fans to experience. I said, you'll go to countries that you've probably never even heard of, but you'll have the time of your life.
Mate, honestly, if you look at the teams that are in that competition this year, there ain't many teams in it that you're actually going to know. You know, I think Fiorentina went out last night, Besiktas went out. You know, there's
Fiorentina went out.
I'm sure Fiorentina went out. They were losing when they were losing when I checked it last night.
That's a surprise because they've been in the final for how many years? And
yeah, it's a good look. One of my best mates at work, he's a Palace fan, you know, and so I messaged him straight away last night, and he turned around and said UEFA will probably give them the toughest draw that they can get. And they've been screwed by them, but it's good to see, and I wish them all the best in Europe. I really do, because I hope they do well. Don't want them to win it though, because I still want us to be.
Fiorentina won, Scott.
Oh, they went through in the end. Oh, well, there you go. See,
will they ever win it? Will they ever bloody win that? Bloody, but I love it if they're in the final again this year.
Can you imagine that? Them getting to another final?
Yeah, and losing again. So yeah, chance of Fiorentina. This is an interesting. Dino says, "Do you honestly think Potter will start Fernandes on Sunday?" This brings us on to bit of a look ahead to the Forest game. So with Fernandes, or Fernandes in Portuguese, they pronounce it Fernandes. But yeah, I think I can honestly see him starting him. If we're basing on what he did with Hermansen and just throwing him straight in, I think he will. We just hit 300 likes. Thank you very much. Let's keep them up.
Thank you.
Smashing it, everyone. Really appreciate you all. Yeah, I think I can see him starting him, and I think he has to start. So I'm gonna have some faith in Potter that he does the right thing here with a lineup, which he hasn't done in a while.
The thing is, the length of
time.
I
agree, mate. I agree. I think just chuck him straight in. He's we're low at the moment, so just to give that team a lift, chuck him straight in. He's fit. He's been playing for Southampton. He's hungry. He's ready to go. He want to impress. So yeah, just chuck him in. There's no point putting him on the bench and we find ourselves 2 or 3-0 down and bringing him on for 10 minutes. No point. Chuck him straight in and just see what he can do. But look, it's going to be a difficult game against Forest on Sunday. You've only got to look at what they've got: Gibbs White, Hudson-Odoi, Chris Wood. Chris Wood always has a good game against us.
Yeah,
he's. I don't think that. Obviously, we haven't beat Forest at their ground since we've been back up. I think I read a stat today that the last time we actually beat them in the Premier League was in 1996 or something like that. So, and I know they was out of the Premier League for all of them years, but we obviously lost 1-0 there the other year. We got battered there last year, 3-0, I think it was. And yeah, we haven't had we've not put in great performances there. So yeah, I'm expecting a tough game, but yeah, just put him straight in and just see what he can do.
No, you are right, mate. At the end of the day, look, we've been tracking this guy most of the summer by the looks of it. So if he is a Potter sign, he's a player that Potter's had on his radar for a while. You can't, by any means, justify playing Rodriguez and Ward-Prowse in the midfield again. I'll be honest, if Potter does that, he really needs to go and look at yourself in the mirror and slap himself around the face, because it's just pure and utter madness to be able to do that, especially when, like I said, you've been tracking this guy. So for me, yeah, chuck him straight in. I'll be honest, drop a pair of them, give Potsy a go, change the midfield dynamic absolutely, completely, because let's be honest, it's not going to do any harm to what we've seen over the past few games with the players that we've had playing in there. So, he for me, like I said, he's match fit. He's been playing. He's been training all pre-season. Stick him straight in. It's not going to do the side any harm, because there's technically been no midfield all season anyway.
He's going to set up the same mini at the back with a 3 at the back and Diouf and Wan-Bissaka. But then again, maybe he might change it and maybe go to a back 4. He's got to change something. Go to the back 4 and put the extra body in midfield. Draw it up a bit. Maybe play with Fernandes. Fernandes, Souček, and Potts, and then maybe put Paquetá in that free role. Behind Bowen and Fulkrug. Try something different.
As the comment says, last time I had faith in Potter was definitely Ella's part 2. Harry Potter reference there. Yeah, it's true. Like faith in Potter is at an all-time low to do the right thing. I think you're right, Ryan. I do want to see us abandon the back five as our plan A this season. I don't mind seeing it for certain games, but I'm not liking what I'm seeing with that formation. Now we've got the midfielders in. I would love to see us go to a 4-3-3. This, especially once Somerville comes back and have him on that left wing, and then you have a front three of Somerville, Fulkrug, and Bowen. That excites me. And then you've got that midfield of Paqueta, Fernandes, and Magassa. And then we just decide what our 2 centre backs is. Hopefully, a new centre back with Wan-Bissaka and Diouf either side, and Arrow in goal. I think that could be a much improved squad, and then switch it up to the back five. But I think like he will play the back five on Sunday. I would like to see us change that.
Yeah, you know, when you look at it, mate, when you look at the way that Forest will probably line up, you know, we've been struggling defensively with aerial threats. You know, we can't see the red ball. We're playing up against Chris Wood. You know, we're not. There's no centre half in that squad at the moment that's going to be able to deal with him aerially. So we've got to cut the supply. So, do we really need 3 centre backs up against Chris Wood? Probably not.
That's exactly what I was alluding to, Scott.
Yeah.
Stop the supply, get the extra man in midfield, break them down, and then stop putting pressure on our back four. You know, and giving Chris Wood, because Chris Wood is a good striker. I think he's very underrated. I think he's
very
always,
intelligent striker.
He's a very he's good. He's a smart. You know, he's damaged us a few times over the years. So you cut the supply after him, or when he holds the ball up, if you get up him quick, you know, and you don't allow the players to get around him for him to lay it off, then that's what you got to do.
The thing is for me, I think we need to play a higher line as well. You know, we like you said, try and cut the supply, make Chris Wood sit deep. I know they've got great players in Gibbs White and Hudson-Odoi, who Hudson-Odoi especially has got a bit of pace about him, but we need Wan-Bissaka to be on one. You know, because he's been missing the last couple of games, so we need him to sort of step up on this one. But a higher line will probably benefit us in this game. And like you said, mate, cut that supply, surround him, get about him, make life hard for him. And the mad thing is, I can probably see Mavropanos playing in this one.
Listen, I wouldn't be against it. Tadibo done some good things the other. I see every time I see quality in him, and then I'll see something where he lets himself down. I think that's the problem with him. And I think Wan-Bissaka, obviously, look, he's marking on corners is absolutely appalling. 1v1 defending is really good when he's not caught really high up the pitch, which is why you need that defender staying back. And I think that's where we suffered last season, is because Mavropanos was also really high up the pitch. So that whole right-hand side was just vacant. But this is a really good question from Nick here, Clarent Booze. Shout out to you, Nick. Does Potter survive a bad defeat? Now, on the basis, I'm so torn on this because we've just brought in 2 midfielders, right, for him. We've got deadline day Monday, so the opportunity to bring more players in that he's probably involved in bringing in, right? Can I see a bad defeat? You know, a 3-0 or 3-1 for whatever. Can they sack him? It makes too much sense. So I'm going to say he probably would survive, and they would say, right, we've got his players in, we've spent this money, let's give him a chance in the national break with the players and see how we get on after. I think he survives, to be honest.
It depends on the manner of the defeat, doesn't it? If we go out there and we lose 4-5-0, then look, you understand the decision if Sullivan has to make it to get rid of him, because imagine how toxic it'll be, because we don't play straight away. We've got an international break, so it will just be toxic on social media and everything for the next 2 weeks, and it'll be questioning, Potter out and all that. So, but if we go there, if we end up losing the game, I don't know, say 2-1, but we're putting a good performance, and there's sort of potential, you think, you know what, it's a better performance. Okay, we've lost, but now we've got the international break for him to work with some of these players, bring in Magassa, get him ready for the next game after the international break. So I'm with you, Dan. I don't think they would sack him, but as I said, heavy defeat for 4 or 5-0. You don't know. They might make that decision. Maybe getting in a Portuguese player might suit a Portuguese manager who's out of work at the moment. You know, Jose.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah.
The thing is that when you look at Potter's record overall, right? I know he inherited a bit of a crap side, but when you look at his record overall, any defeat realistically against Forest, he should walk out the door. If this was any time later in the season, on the record that he's had from when he took over, he'd be out the door, right? And this is the thing; it is the timing. You know, a heavy defeat. You could sit there and say, you know, well, 3-0 against Sunderland. As I said to you before, that defeat against Sunderland, in my eyes, was worse than the defeat against Chelsea. You know, you're getting beat by a Chelsea side that's got quality players. You got beat by a Championship side that scraped through the playoffs. You know,
but the thing is, Scott, I will say this: is Chelsea wasn't quality that day. They didn't have to be that.
No, they didn't. No, that's the
bad.
thing. But when you look at it, when you're sitting there saying that you've been beaten by a Chelsea side and beaten by a Sunderland side that's newly promoted, you know, it's the Sunderland side for me that's the bigger embarrassment, especially considering that was in one half of football. You know,
I think as well, Scott. You know, if we do get a defeat on Sunday and then we go into international break, I think you've got to look at the 4 games after that where we've got Spurs, Palace, Everton, and Arsenal. And I think if we don't pick up any points in that and we've got a few heavy defeats, I think then he's gone. He has to go.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't think he will go. I think even if we lose to Forest, I don't think he'll go. I think they will give him that. You know, if we are looking to get another couple of players in before deadline day closes, you know, like you said, we've got a new midfield basically coming in after one we'll probably see on Sunday, but the other one will be in for the Spurs game. So I do think they'll give him a couple of weeks. Someone in the comments said there, you know, it'll be Lopetegui all over again. He'll get that extra week. He'll pick up a result somewhere and be given that extra week and that type of thing. But I think that if we lose to Forest, international break, we don't see any difference in the performance levels. Lose to Spurs, lose to Palace, I think his time will be done then, because I don't think that we would be in a position under him to recover from not having a win or some sort of points tally on the board by the time we come to play the likes of Arsenal and Everton.
As much as obviously we're positive tonight because we've got a couple of new signings in, you know, if we was to nick a point or even better 3 points on Sunday, we're all going into that international positive. But we go into that London Stadium against Spurs and we get a heavy home defeat. Obviously, we've got the Kuda situation as well with him coming back, so it's going to be toxic in there anyway towards like him. Imagine if they get a big win and embarrass us, it'll turn toxic. As much as it can be positive for a little while, it can quickly go back to being that toxic atmosphere.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I've personally, if we do get a bad performance against Forest and a loss, I think the smart thing to do would be to sack him, because then we've got the international break to get the new manager in and give him some time with the players then. And I'm just, we go and see that same crap sideways, backwards, slow football with Fernandes in. Someone said that Magassa has been signed in time to play Sunday. I don't know. I haven't verified it. Someone said that in the comments.
I think to play for Sunday, I'm sure he had to be signed by lunchtime on Friday.
Well, but the thing is, he may have been signed earlier and then they've announced it later.
They might have delayed the announcement just to let the Fernandes stuff, the videos and that. So, look, brilliant if he has. I hope he has. I'll chuck them both in.
Yeah, this is it. So, honestly, if he is, and we got those players in, you got a new midfield, there's no excuse for the same old crap. So I want to see a much better. I want to see some players working their bollocks off. We had the Dick's night, and you all get to see it. And he talked about players. There's no reason not to work hard, and we've seen these players not work hard for so long now.
Yep.
I want to see the players work. I don't care who's out there. I want to see a shift.
And that's the
So
thing. We know the players are capable of doing it, and that's the thing. You know, there is quality still there within that side. We're just not seeing any of it.
Yeah, yeah.
I was just about to say that. I read that X said that he signed this morning. So yeah, look, we've been saying about Fernandes starting. We might have two of them starting on Sunday. Fuck it, we're going to win the Premier League. I've said it.
Yeah. Get them both straight. By the way, is my mic coming through really loud?
No, you seem all right, mate.
Seem all right, mate.
The thing for me, I think Potter. I think the best
it.
thing for Potter going into this international break is to get a minimum point against Spurs, against Forest, sorry, and then Kudus to get injured during over the international break. I think that would be a good result for Potter.
Could you imagine? I mean, it's not going to happen, but could you imagine if obviously Potter did get sacked, Jose come in and his first game would be Spurs at home with all the Kudus stuff, Mourinho against Spurs. Mate, that will be blockbuster Saturday night football. That would be, but
yeah. Well, that's Nick says if he goes, each pick a manager available on a free. I want Big Ange if he comes in. Mate,
I don't want Big Ange anywhere near our football club. I know I turned around and said I want to see a different style of play, but with an attacking style of play with these set of players, oh my word!
Ange ball with Mavropanos. Tadibo, Kilman. That's a.
Can you imagine that high line that he played for Spurs? And
to be fair, just sitting on the halfway line, all sitting on the halfway line. It's what we do, mate. You know, it's what we do, mate.
Yeah, like
a win. A win. Second season, a win. It's what we do.
I'd be tempted because, like, I feel like I would rather get him. Like, if we was just going to get one of these boring Carlin managers, like, you know, Dyche or Steve Cooper or whatever, just give me, if we're going to go down anyway, like I've said this before, go down in a blaze of glory with some fucking Ange ball.
Big Ange will give you that blaze of glory, right?
Oh, yeah, mate. Like, let's do it. So we are. And he always wins in his second season, Scott. So win the championship next season and get us straight back up.
The bad thing about it, right, is all this, when you look back at his career with Spurs, you know, he played this high line attacking football, but they actually won the trophy sitting playing defensive football. You know, it's crazy. It is crazy.
Yeah,
in all seriousness, I don't see us going down. I really don't see us going down. I think it won't be, you know, it depends. Like, it can all change now. But I know it's been a bad start to the season in the league and obviously in the cup the other day. But I don't see us going down. I think that we will hit a run of form soon. We'll probably win one, lose one, win one, lose two. We'll have enough to stay in the Premier League this season. I can't see us getting relegated. I mean, that these words might come back to bite me, but I do feel that we will find a little bit of form. We will start picking up some wins, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Do you know what, mate? Right? If we stay up, it'd be a bit of a miracle.
Well, I think it's early to say that, Scott, because we've got to see what we bring in. Mark says 17th. That's why, you know, we're going to do our season predictions after the window closes. Just so I think that's probably the best time to do it. So we see, right, who's gone out, who's in, what's our squad, and we can really judge it. Because had we not brought in Fernandes and Magassa, I had us nailed on to go down, right? Just because of how painfully slow and weak our midfield was, a lack of physicality in there. I think this improves us, but it's not done yet. No, that defense needs sorting, and maybe with some protection from the midfield, the defense will be a little bit more shored up. But I'm still not confident in them.
As Scott said, cut off the supply, you know, and take a bit of pressure off of the goalkeeper and the defenders for a bit. So, yeah, look. I know that someone just said there, clip it, don't, just in case. But no, look, I honestly do think, I think we'll have enough to stay up in the Premier League season. I think we will find a good run of form soon. It might, you know, I just hope that we start picking up points in these next 4 games that we've got. You know, we've got to target the games like Palace, Everton, Forest. You know, I know, look, Tottenham are a different level this season to what I said it when Kudus signed for him. Kudus ain't signing for 17th place Spurs. He's signing for a Champions League Spurs, you know, who are going to go on and have a good season. Obviously, Arsenal, is anything against them sort of teams are bonus points.
You say that right. Our best performances last season came against the teams that were up there. Do you know what I mean? The Arsenals, the Liverpools, and those were our best performances. I'd be interested to see if
I think as well when I think we play Spurs just before they kick off their Champions League like competition. I think we're playing them the week before they start, or is it on a Saturday evening? Isn't it the Spurs game? So I think I'm sure they play Champions League the next week. Palace will be in Conference League action in and around the time when we play them as well. So you can always get that little European wobble pop up as well. But mate, realistically, when you look at the next 4 games, they're going to be tough. But if we can come out of the next 4 games with at least 3 points, like you said, things will start turning the corner because
you said the next 4 games with
4 games, at least 3 points.
Mate, if we get just 3 points in our next 4, we are probably adrift at the bottom. Because
we may be adrift, but things can start turning around. It's the performances that are things that are going to need to start picking up.
Yeah, them 3 points could be 3 draws against top teams, Yeah. But I agree with you, Scott. I think maybe that might have been Potter's plan all along. Plan when they got Europe. Pretend that we're shit, and then we just go on a fucking charge.
Yeah. He's got to do something, Potter, because the pressure.
I think when I put the comment up that Nick said there, I think if Potter does change his system, as we said, go to a 4 at the back, put the extra body in midfield, it can change. It only takes one good performance to change a whole dressing room and an attitude and the attitude of the players, and it can happen. But look,
we need to see it Sunday.
Yeah, we need to see it sooner rather than later, because as Dan said, we get 6, 7, 8, 9 games in and we're adrift, then you are in a relegation battle, and then it's all season.
Yeah, that's it. Once you're down there, by that point, you're down there for the season, pretty much. Dino makes a good point. To cut off the supply line into the box, we need to press in the middle third. We can't seem to be able to do that. And that's what we don't see enough. And, me and Scott, we watched the Villa game together, his first game in charge, and we was on the edge of our seats. We couldn't believe the performance. And we've seen that so few and far between. So it's like we know we can do it under Potter, but it's so rare. Like, why? I know we had Somerville, but we didn't have Somerville at Arsenal away when we had that great performance. We didn't have him at Old Trafford. We didn't have him at Anfield away. So why can we not see this type of performance more often?
Yeah, that's the thing, though, Dan. Like you said, we were sitting there at that Villa game, right, and there was a spark in the team. Do you know what I mean? That you could see there was a difference in that side. It's like the players had been reignited in a bit, and we haven't seen a consistency in them levels of fitness, them levels of wanting to play, trying. We haven't seen that. We knew certain players turned up for the big games last season, but we've just not seen that level. There's been no consistency. That's the thing for me with Potter since he's come in. The consistency's been nowhere near. And it frustrates you because you see that intensity levels that we put in against that game against Villa. Like you said, you see it against Arsenal. Why can't we produce that week after week? Okay, you can sit there and say, 2 or 3 weeks, you may see a drop in the levels because of tiredness and things like that creeping in. But you would think we would see a run of games where you see that effort, you see that work rate within the side. It just seems very lethargic across the board with the whole team.
If he's not able to get that out of this team anytime soon, mate, then he's got to go because he's never going to get it out of him. We need to see consistency. I agree.
Oh, go on. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to quickly read this. I agree with this that Mo Kante needs to start, not start, but he needs first team being in around. I see an
interview he done the other day, and he said, I want to be in and around the first team this season. I want to try to break into that first team squad and then hopefully become a regular starter. And for a youngster to say that and have the confidence, and we've seen highlights of him in the under 21. It looks a good prospect. So, but I was just about to say, what would your thoughts be on? Obviously Somerville, he's in and out of the team. He's coming back from injury. what would your thoughts be on a deadline day deal bringing in 30-year-old Raheem Sterling?
No,
I've been against.
no,
Yeah.
no way. Don't want that player anywhere near our football club.
Nah, he's finished. I think he's finished. Like, there's always the hope that he does a Lingard. He didn't do anything at Arsenal. He hasn't done anything at Chelsea, and I know there's a hope that he drops down, he'll be a big fish in a small pond, and I just think he's on crazy money. Obviously, we wouldn't pay all of his wages, but it's this type of profile of player that we don't want. Someone that thinks they're bigger than the club. So I'd still wear it well clear. As much as you hope that, if we get anything like the player he was, he'd be special, you know.
Yeah, no,
it's a Sullivan special, though, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It's got Sullivan written all over it. Just another quick one.
I think with Sterling at Arsenal, he was obviously playing back up to Saka, so he weren't really getting the sort of game time. But I'm with you. I wouldn't want to see it happen, but
I think
he'd be
Sullivan for us. Who's he going to start over at West Ham?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, with obviously he'll probably battle it out with Somerville. You know, he could obviously go out on the right if Bowen was there to have to play centre, or if Bowen come off. But look, I can't see it happening. Me personally, I'm the same. I wouldn't want it to happen. I think even though he's 30, I think he's past it. But yeah, it would be so David Sullivan to do a last day signing and bring in Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, of course it would. Of course it would.
It's another one of those. If he signs, we'll get behind him. But if I had a choice, I don't want to see him at the club. You know, I think he's past it. I think he's done. He'll probably come back, sign for someone else, and score against us just to shut us up. But do you know what I mean? He's not the type of player that we need to be looking for.
Yeah, his Premier League career should be behind him, not West Ham fans.
Yeah,
but I mean, you know, looking at it, I was going to say there's a report like we could consider selling Guilherme, even though he's injured, and I would not want to see that. I think Guilherme is a really good prospect. We saw a bit of him in the preseason, seen bits and pieces of him last season. I think he's going to become a very good player, and I think if we sold him now, especially if we sold him at a loss, it'd be very stupid.
Yeah, it's a shame he picked up that injury just before the start of the season. I think a broken collarbone is going to keep you out for a minimum of 6 to 8 weeks for it to heal. So, yeah, it's a shame because he was looking decent in pre-season.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think he's got a big future. You can see that he bulked up a bit. He looked like he was enjoying playing. He didn't get a lot of game time last season in the first team. But, you know, yeah, I like the look of him. I think he's something different. And, it's a shame that injury happened when it did.
He's got that pace we need in this side, and the energy. Yeah, so hopefully he comes back. But keep him. Don't sell him. Be stupid. Let me read this one for no heated debate tonight. No, my co-star Nikki is not here, so we haven't been able to rehearse our lines for our fake heated debates.
Don't you must notice he's not here. There's been hardly any interruptions, and we've had quite a civilized chat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Look at Scott adding fuel to the fire.
Well, get Nicky on for a Scott Nicky heated debate. That's what we need. a new fresh co-star.
Yeah, he knows that. Listen, we love to wind Nicky up. We do. We love.
So what's the score predictions then for Sunday? I'm going to stick to what I've done in my thing in work. I said 3-1 Forest. I'm going to stick to it, but I really hope I'm wrong. Obviously, it's changed a bit with these 2 new signings. Do you know what? 1-1.
If Magassa and Fernandes go back in, I'm going to feel a lot more positive.
Yeah, if them two start,
it's what he's going to do, isn't it? But it's hard to predict what the team's going to be and what the formation's going to be. Because like you said before, I predicted that. I would probably have been with you like a 3-1 before these 2 came in. I think we'll still. I think 2-1 Forest. I'm going to say.
Mate, I think I don't see us. I don't see us winning. Definitely not. Do I see different levels? I hope so, but I can't see a win, so I'm going to say 3-1 Forest.
It's a tough place to go as well, isn't it? The City ground, because their fans drum up such a good atmosphere there. They're
Mhm.
so loud and they are great. They're a great set of fans, and you know they drag their team through the games sometimes. And I remember that first game when we played them when they first got promoted, and it was one of the loudest crowds I've heard for a very, very long time. They're a brilliant set of fans there, and hopefully we can silence them, play a bit of good football, and then maybe we might nick a result. But I can see Forest nicking it. You know, I'm going to.
Nick is confident.
Do you know what? Yeah, I think we'll all take that. I think we'll all take a point at the City Ground. We know how difficult it is to play there, and I really hope Nick's right. There's a lot of people going for 1-1, 2-1. Someone said 3-2 West Ham. I mean, what a confidence boost that would be if we 2-0 down and we come back and score 3 goals and win it. But there's a lot of people saying 3-0 Chris Wood hat trick. So there's a lot of mixed. Even though we've got 2 new signings in, there's still people predicting us to lose.
I think one nailed on bet that you're going to have if you're going to have a bet will be Chris Wood to score at any time.
Yeah, 100%. We've got 29 likes away from 400 people, so we can smash past 400. It'd be lovely jubbly. And obviously, if you're watching this back post record, you can obviously like it as well. I forgot about this. So Mark said we sold half our women's team for 4 billion. I don't think those numbers are right, Mark. I don't think they're right. I'm sure it was 49 million, like a stake in it.
50 million,
or 49% for it was something.
If we sold half the women's team for 4 billion, I'd sell the other half as well.
Yeah, that's a bit mad considering we value West Ham. He values West Ham at 800 mil. So I think I don't know if those figures. I don't know. But the idea is, I think we're doing the Chelsea and Villa loophole, 55 mil. Yeah, that's it. Where we're selling a stake in women's team to ourselves to overcome PSR. Everyone's saying 55 mil. Yeah. So look, I've been saying that if other clubs are going to use these loopholes, we might as well use it. Do whatever you can. You know,
that's the problem, mate. Is that the loopholes are there. You know, other teams are exploiting it, and we're not. So we need to exploit these loopholes. I don't get how more clubs are not doing the Chelsea model of going out and giving young players big contracts. You know, the value of the player is higher, but you're paying less because you're paying it over a longer period of time.
Thing is with Chelsea as well, they're very smart. I think they sold hotels and restaurants that they own to themselves, things like that. And it's crazy what they're doing. But if there's loopholes, you can get away with it. Why not? Why not do it?
We've still got Chad Relief in. We can't sell that to ourselves. And when we got a loan against the training ground, Rush Green, and we've got stuff we can bloody. We just ain't got a football ground we can sell to ourselves, have we?
Mate, same with the naming rights. Not having the not only the ground makes it hard to get these naming rights sorted as well.
There was a good comment in there. I have to find it. Someone said, "You know what they call people who sell women?" Sullivan all over, innit? So listen. Hopefully that all allows us to spend. We're 2 likes away from 400. So,
do you know what? I'm going to go in and like it.
That's you two. See, you ain't been on and liked it yet.
I did, mate.
All right.
Well, did you, Scott?
I have, mate. I have.
There you go.
So, by the way, if you do want to become a member, Nikki, or you are a member already, Nikki should be putting out another episode of the Hammer It Out podcast with him and Dom. So those wondering where Dom is, he's on the podcast. There might be a video with him post-game on Sunday, potentially. So do check that out. Like I said, I think Nikki's recording it tonight. That's why he's not here, because he's doing the podcast with Dom. So there is a link down there.
It's a bit of a week for comeback. So hopefully we see West Ham have a bit of comeback. You know, Graham's come back. Dom's come back. You know.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Back. Well, I mean, this will be... I think episode 3 with Dom, so you can check out. So that will be available in full for our Cult Heroes tiers, but there should be a clip out for the for the what do you call it, fan favorites. So the Cult Hero and Legends will have the full podcast. So if you do want to sign up, then go check it out. But anyway, we've shot up to 421 likes. Brilliant. How comes the podcast isn't on iTunes out of interest? I don't know. I guess I just haven't done that. But what the thing is, because the podcast, I don't know how to do it, because the podcast, it's something we give to the people that support us in the memberships. If we put it out, I don't know how you do that. You know what I mean? So it's the people that are the members or whatever. It's going to be on Patreon as well for people that's still on Patreon. But I would like to start putting the stuff we're doing here as an audio download and offer that. So there's more to come. There is more to come. We are going to be back in the not Talker Social, but back in doing the competitions. We will get that belt off Ryan one way or another. Dan messaged me about.
I might just, you know what? I might just do a Lennox Lewis and retire as champion, and then like you can fight it out, and then I'll always have that on my title that I'm the undefeated champion, and you are just using my belt basically.
He's doing a John Cena. He's going to try and leave with the belt. Current reference there. But yeah, so that's the only thing. Like I would put it all on Spotify. I would put it all on iTunes. But it's how we do it in a way where we're not just giving it away for free when we're charging people over here. It's like, give us some money, $5 a month, and we'll get a podcast. But it's also on iTunes for nothing, so it's how that works. So yeah. But no, lads, it's been a great show. It's been a really good one.
I can't believe we've been going for nearly 2 hours. It's flown by, but no, it's good discussion, good comments. I really enjoyed it, mate. It's
so much to talk about. And apparently Mourinho is favourites for West Ham, so that's a good bit of news for you to finish with, Rye. Make you happy. I don't know what betting odds mean. 15-8.
I mean, I don't understand it, but look, the thing is with Mourinho. Look, Potter obviously he's going for a bad time at the moment. If he can turn it around, then fair play to him. But the more we lose, the more pressure he's going to be under, and he probably will be out of a job sooner rather than later. But yeah.
Brilliant. Don't forget to check out Final One Standing. Like Nicky said, I'm going to be putting the link down below. Go and check it out. Nicky is still in it. The three of us got knocked out in quick fashion. Scott did not listen to me when I said don't trust Manchester United, the team that went on to lose to Grimsby Town.
Hey, mate, Fernandes, that penalty, I don't think he could have skied it in the eye, could he?
No.
Yeah, but did you see him when the referee bumped into him and mate, I can't stand him. And do you know what made me laugh? Our Fernandes today, when they interviewed him, they said, who's your idol? And he said Bruno Fernandes. And I'm like, mate, you're Portuguese. What about Ronaldo? What's Bruno Fernandes? Like, you're 21 years old. You've seen Ronaldo play. Ronaldo's still playing.
Yeah. Of all Bruno Fernandes, like, what is the geezer? He's not won Champions Leagues and shit like that.
Listen, Bruno Fernandes has wasted the best years of his career playing for a crap Man United side. That's what he's done.
When we were going to sign him, we were linked to him before he went to Man United.
Mate, I would have took him all day long.
Remember when we was linked with their manager as well, when everyone started crying when he didn't come to us? I think he's worse than Potter.
Yeah.
He's got a worse managerial record than Gary Neville. Did you see him the other day when they was losing to Grimsby and he had a Sabutio ball? I don't think he knows what he's fucking doing. He's losing.
It's not that much different to when Potter was looking through his book and his hands are shaking and he's like, they're very similar, to me. Played the same stupid fucking five at the back and wedded to it. But yeah, so it's brilliant. But well, listen, we appreciate all of you who's watching and will watch. So really, really pleased, really, really pleased with the signings. And it's been good to talk about something positive. It's been a miserable month supporting West Ham, and we've got to talk about some good stuff coming in, and hopefully that positivity continues to Sunday. So the three of us will be there for a post-match pint while Nicky will hopefully while Nicky is away. And like I said, the video, Nicky will have that video up tomorrow, Jose or Nuno, so you can come in, see which one we could end up having, which one you think we should have. So all of that good stuff. So thank you for watching. Join us on the watch along. One thing left to say.
Come on, you Irons.
Oh, and congratulations on Bowen on getting back to England. Tuchel, you stupid bastard. You never should have dropped him.
Yeah. Congratulations, Bowen.